So, the complaints led on into the night, the day before the new season launched. From hit-reg to content quantity, the threads kept, well, threading. Post after post, comment after comment. I was a little bit bored and doom-scrolled. It's a habit. And once Season 2 launched, oh, you guessed it, the complaints continued. Uninterrupted, without pause or hesitation, as if nothing dropped at all. And in some people's minds, nothing did actually drop. There were a few pockets of hopefuls, saying they were looking forward to the drop and ready to roll, but for the most part, the foot stomping continued, coming out of the early morning haze and into the lunchtime hour and beyond. I started making this video around 8 p.m. last night, and the complaints were still full steam ahead. It is what it is. I have moved on from the general moaning and groaning about the game and dived into the season myself. What I found confirmed some complaints and contradicted others. Okay, so I wanted to make a video that wasn't a reaction, review, and thoughts style video. But honestly, I found it hard not to be that kind of video. Reaction, review, and thoughts videos tend not to do well for me, mostly because those types of videos are already out by the time I publish mine, and everyone already knows everything. I'm not there yet with content. That's a tomorrow problem. The other reason why I didn't want to do a video like that was because judgments and such were already made prior to the season's launch. And frankly, I didn't want to fight any sort of uphill battle, which would also affect how well a video does or not. And as hard as I tried, I kept circling back to reacting, reviewing, and thinking about what I experienced in the launch. So, instead of rehashing a ton of what everyone already has an idea about, I figured I'd go over the other stuff not being discussed and see where that goes. So, here goes nothing. First, I hope those who are interested remember to watch their streamers for the Twitch drops. 4 rewards, 4 hours of watch time total. Should be available throughout the week, so if you are interested, fire up your Twitch and watch a stream in the background while you play. It's basic rewards, though. You get the Mutator player card, the Bomb Dog vehicle decal, Tephra skin for the Leo A4 tank, and the Nuclear Option weapons package, which generally includes a charm and some kind of weapon skin. It's not much, but they're free. The not much is something I'll touch on shortly. Okay, so I had some hit-reg issues, but did the classic turn it off, turn it on again switcheroo, and that solved the problem for the most part. Some in-game chat suggested the textures of the new map looked bad. Not exactly sure what they meant by that. It looks like a map to me. One of the complaints I kept seeing on the socials was some derivative of playing against bots because of matchmaking, or no one was playing and took forever to get a session started. Man, I played for 6 hours nonstop, backed out of lobbies every 2 or 3 sessions, and not once did I have to wait past 2 seconds for a match to start, and not once did I see a single bot. Like, I've never seen bots in standard lobbies since launch. And I barely had to wait 2 seconds before a session after session launched. I didn't see anywhere what mode they were referring to, so I have no idea what they were talking about. Because it felt like a Saturday to me. I saw so many comments about taking the day off, and good lord, my session was filled with brand new players and 300 plus level players all damn day long. Other comments I saw throughout the day were issues using the gas mask. I didn't have a problem with it, so I don't know what to say about that. I just held the X key until the mask came on or off. Worked just fine. I did like how the gas mask isn't 100% protection. If you stay in the gas too long, the filters start wearing down and the mask becomes ineffective. But you can get resupplied with new masks by finding support players for supplies and heals. Now, I didn't get an opportunity to check out Gauntlet Altered State or the BR. I was either in Conquest, Rush, or Breakthrough. And I noticed the nerf of the slide mechanic. It was officially a 25% reduction in the initial velocity and a 15% increase in the recovery time before you could sprint again. Honestly, I never used this mechanic unless I needed to slow down before turning a corner or sliding into cover. I know the mechanic has been in the game for some time now, but it was something I could live with or without. And yes, people screamed about it because the bunny hopping into a slide now has a massive friction penalty. Boo-hoo. For me, it just meant that I had to time my get behind cover action a bit longer than before. Now, what I thought was kind of neat was you could choose whether you wanted to deal with the Conquest map with the gas on or off. In the menu, you could choose Contaminated and there's no gas. Choose the VL7 Strike and you got the gas. So, similar in how they set up the winter event back in December. I wasn't sure at first if that was how Contaminated was going to roll out or not. I knew the gas was a limited event, but due to changes and lack of changes, I wasn't 100% sure if they would treat these separate things as they had with the winter event. Another cool thing for me was my weapon and character covered in gas residue. I know this won't matter very much to very many people, but I thought it was kind of cool. I don't remember seeing this any kind of visual marker that I was freezing in the winter event. So yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. Someone in the game chat suggested Contaminated was the new Metro or Locker. They never really elaborated on this. If they meant the layout, well, I'm not seeing it. All capture points on Metro and Locker were linear. In Metro, only one capture point is located outside. In Locker, all the capture points are inside. With Contaminated, there's only 2 capture points inside. I don't count the hangar as inside. It's a structure, not necessarily a building. If they meant like mid-season, maybe? Still not sure I completely agree with that or not. Now, the things I had disappointments with are outside what everyone on God's green earth keeps screaming about. I know the roadmap was posted prior to launch, and it shows what's coming and when. But if you're gonna tease a new map, such as Contaminated, and you showcase the one vehicle I was excited for, the dirt bike, but you're not dropping it until March 17th with the Hagenthal base map, man, why the fuck showcase it in Contaminated in the trailer? That's like the worst tease ever. I mean, we're all disappointed about the lack of content, but to do this kind of switcheroo? Now, I'm not suggesting it's a bait and switch, because anyone could point out I shouldn't have been excited for it on launch day since it'll be another month, because it's right there on the roadmap and it'll be dropped. All you had to do, Hannibal, was look at the roadmap. It's right there, plain as day. And that's fair. I will concede that point. But still, I was actually expecting the bike to be there since the trailer showed it in the Contaminated map. But no, I gotta wait another month for it. Now, earlier I mentioned not much and promised to get back to that. I am a bit peeved that I purchased the Pro version of Phantom Edition and somehow I got the full Battle Pass at launch and the one for the winter event. This time around, however, my Pro version of the Phantom Edition doesn't include the Season 2 Battle Pass, and it's $22.49. Now, normally I don't care for 99% of the things offered in Battle Passes. Usually it's the skins, the decals, weapon skins, that sort of shit. I don't care. No, what's usually my jam is the bonus XP packages. So it annoys me that if I want these things, I gotta drop more money into a new pass. Now look, I'm not radicalized about microtransactions. They are part and parcel for live service games. I get that. But what pisses me off is shit like this combined with the lack of quantity and content and the trickle drips of content for the season and the delay of said light trickle down content. So it's a hard sell for me to want to fork over extra money when the game is in this current state. Now, before anyone raises an eyebrow, yes, I am very happy with the game itself. I feel I have so far received the $90 worth of enjoyment. That doesn't mean I agree to keep forking over money when the follow-up is as it currently is. Both things can be true at the same time. I'm still not joining in on the rage roller coaster just because you want me to, though. It was amusing to see so many comments in in-game chat complaining about spawning for the little bird or camping right outside the HQ to shoot it down. I mean, what did everyone expect? Everyone wants to fly it, and everyone else wants it to stay grounded. Something else that tickled me was how those fortunate enough to grab the pilot seat of the little bird were all of a sudden allergic to MANPADS. I tried really hard to get a shot of me nailing one for the video, but every time I tried, they'd pop flares, which I expected. I usually wait to launch at them until after that they flare out. And apparently these pilots were onto my plans, even if they were a little mistaken. See, I haven't gotten the 9K38 Igla yet. I was using the Stinger. So, as soon as they popped flares, the launcher relocked back onto them, and they dove for the deck. I had one bitch-ass pilot hide behind the mountain where I couldn't see him, which gave him time to reload the flares again. Bitch. There were several mixed comments of the in-game chat that, from what I saw about the little bird's handling, some said it was more sluggish than they remembered from Battlefield 4, others said it was OP and fast. Honestly, this sort of 50-50 commentary matches the whole perspective thing I've spoken about before. Some players said it was fast, others said it was sluggish. Since I don't fly, I thought the comments were from both perspectives were amusing. Did I have fun on the new map? Well, yes. Frustrating fun because my casual ass was in a room full of sweats left and right. I saw a comment on X in between sessions who said the game is now Sweatfield 6 Season 2, and I got a chuckle out of that. I expect that to ease off and calm down as the season progresses, but empty lobbies? Nope. Waiting long periods of time for a session to load me in? No, sir. What I saw matches the Steam chart numbers. At the time of making this video, there were 65,000 players on, with a 24-hour peak at 92,000. Not the six figure of 100,000 or more, but close. I suspect this number will rise through to the weekend at least. And no, I don't expect the numbers to come close to the 747,000 we saw 4 months ago. Even if the game reaches peak Battlefield overnight tomorrow, and we have all the things, quality and quantity, like the old days, I doubt we will ever see those numbers again. And I'm fine with that. What I'm saying here is there was enough people on at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time that I had zero problems finding full lobbies, and they all had every level of Battlefield 6 player playing the new map. However, I did see a lot of in-game chat of people blasting the game and EA and Battlefield Studios while sweating every which way but loose. Perhaps a little venting, perhaps a little trolling, perhaps some rage purge. I don't know. I was there to have fun, not debate the finer things and differences between have and have not. The point is, there was enough players for me to contend with. It's probably not the numbers EA was hoping for, and quite frankly, that's an EA problem. I agree that EA needs to figure out the ball of twine they have put themselves in and get their act together if they want the 5 to 6 year playability they spoke of before. If they can't get their shit together, well, there won't be a Battlefield 7 or other Battlefield titles people can argue about online, let alone play. Now, let me be clear here. This is an EA problem, folks, not a Battlefield one. You could go to any EA title on YouTube, X, Reddit, wherever, and you'll find the same argument. Not enough, microtransactions, delays, quality of content, the works. If you dig deeper than that, it's not just an EA problem. Activision, Ubisoft, Bethesda, they all suffer from the same issues, only in varying degrees. What I'm not doing is joining in on the whole "you gotta hate this game" bandwagon, because I don't hate the game. I'm not a fan of how it's being treated, both by EA and the player base. But no, I don't hate it. A friend of mine and I had a long talk while I was writing this out for the video. Yes, I write notes and shit to keep track of stuff. Find me a content creator who doesn't. He's been trying to explain to me the various reasons people have this rage about the game. One of the points of contention is the Battlefield identity. Some players are not thrilled with recent Battlefield because EA decided to blur the lines between Call of Duty and Battlefield, such as the slide mechanic, the movement mechanics, things like that. Even the way the maps are designed. This group doesn't want that nonsense in the game, and their point of view is, if you want to play Call of Duty, go play Call of Duty. This is Battlefield. And I understand that. I always thought that the game mechanics could have things in common, but separate for gameplay. And I disagree, only to a point, that EA wanted to incorporate certain elements into the game to win over competition players from the other franchises, like Call of Duty. From a business standpoint, I get it, even if I don't agree. From the player base standpoint, I understand where you're coming from, even if I don't agree it requires murderous rage. Me? If I'm having fun playing a game, I'm having fun playing a game. Would I like to see Battlefield 4 as Battlefield 6? Oh, you betcha. Because Battlefield 4 was better? No. Because I had fun playing with my friends every night. Because for me, it was about hanging out with them more so than if we had a perfect KD ratio. The shit talking, learning birthdays, all of our kids' names, hearing each other's wives on the microphone pick up, "Are you going to continue playing that game all night?" Every other night. And then teasing each other about they gotta go because the wife wants quality time before bed. Or questioning manhood at 2 a.m. on a Saturday morning and we hear someone on the mic yawn and suggest they think that's it for them for the time being because they're tired and sleep matters. We played the same maps over and over again. The content drop never really mattered. 4 friends became 8, then 16,
Good morning,
then
sir.
50. Then we had a huge 100 plus clan count. Platoons. We had our older kids
True, I
in
always
with
say there's
us.
no morning
We had us late 20s, early 30s with us. We had grandfathers up in there with us. And we had fun shooting things and talking shit. People in China So while Battlefield 6 is going through some really hardcore growing pains and the future of the game is kind of up in the air, I'm looking for the hoodrats. I'm looking for the fun where I can find it. I'm looking for 6's version of a platoon.
And especially with the chat.
So we could bitch together about the content while we MANPADS the shit out of little birds, push the objectives, and kill things indiscriminately. All while we wait for someone's wife to ask, "You playing that damn game all night or what?" So what's my take on Season 2 so far? I'm not disliking it. I had fun. I plan on playing more of it. I'm looking for people to squad up with, perhaps friend up in the game, or Discord. I am looking forward to seeing the map in Portal and what ways players can mess around with the map design. I like that we have choices to play in the gas or not. I like how bitch-ass pilots flare their little birds behind an out-of-bounds mountain to replenish their flares and get away from my missile lock before peeking around to find me again. I like the size of the map.
Oh, sweet.
I suspect I'll have a lot of content with it, as long as people want to watch it and listen to my silly ass ramble on and on. Speaking of, I had some people ask about some details about Squad. Unfortunately, it is PC exclusive and only available on Steam. Sorry, my console hoodrats. I wish I had better news on that front. I'm not sure how many of you subbed are exclusively on console, unless I run a poll in the community post and ask. I am trying to gain enough momentum here on the channel that'll allow me to cover multiple games without the algorithm getting an embolism, so I'm looking at other options here for crossplay. Now, if things go as they should, the new Ghost Recon game, currently called Project Over, is slated to drop fall of this year, allegedly. Right now, there isn't enough official public information on whether it's going to be crossplay or not. I am making an assumption here, but it would surprise me if it isn't, since it's being built on the Unreal Engine 5. And some people have spoken to me directly about their interest in this game. But with the shift from third person to first person, there seems to be a lot of anticipation on this title, even with the issues going on with Ubisoft. So if enough people tell me that they're interested in it and it's crossplay, I'll start covering it more. In the meantime, I'll just keep an eye on it. Last video I mentioned War Dogs. Right now, folks, early access is only available in Steam. Again, sorry console players. I know, I'm batting 1,000 here. But it is currently focused on community feedback to shape its development and is planned for PlayStation 5. So if the game sounds like it piques your interest, get involved with the feedback and demand crossplay. I will keep monitoring this title, so I'll keep you up to date as soon as I find new bits of information.
Underlying persistent economy. Every life you're able to build your own custom loadout, purchasing whatever equipment you want to use before heading into the control zone. During a match, players earn in-game cash for completing any team play actions such as killing enemies, reviving teammates, or even skillfully piloting friendly players into the control zone. Everything a player does to help their team earns cash, with profits from each game banked into their account to spend in the next match. Spending big on better equipment is always a risk, as you might not always make a profit, but the right choice at the right time can turn the tide of the battle and yield massive returns. In War Dogs, we don't just encourage team play, we actually reward it. Teamwork always pays, and cash is king.
To maximize your profits and your team's chances of capturing the control zone, you can opt to chase down the hot zone, a moving subzone within the larger control zone that pays out double cash when inside it. Whilst within this hot zone, players also count as double towards their players' team count, meaning you have the potential to swing the outcome of a match and influence explosive firefights with the game's more competitive players.
Roles in War Dogs are entirely player-defined, with every item you add to your loadout offering unique ways to earn cash and experience points. XP is earned across 6 progression tracks and unlocks access to purchasing additional items for your loadout at the in-match vendor. Being a medic, a sniper, artillery or ground support, a tank commander or a humble builder. No matter how you want to play, War Dogs gives players the tools to play in their own way and shape a 100% player-driven sandbox.
Squad sizes in War Dogs are unlimited, so no friend ever gets left out when you're trying to decide what game to play in your evenings. Squadding up also provides additional UI, vehicle squad locking for better coordination, and more communication tools, including squad voice chat.
On top of the foundry.
There's also proximity chat
46 northeast.
to help you communicate with your teammates around you or just mess with your enemy's heads.
100 players, 3 teams, fighting over one control zone. Create unique and personal loadouts with whatever weapons, gear and vehicles you want to use to play your own way. With no restrictions on squad sizes and no traditional lock roles, you're free to play however you want. Capture the control zone or take the hot zone to earn even more in-game cash and bank it into your account to spend the next time that you play. This is War Dogs.
Tarkov. I had some folks ask me about this title specifically. I know this game has been around a while as an open beta, but Escape from Tarkov is not currently available on consoles yet. A console port is officially in development by Battlestate Games. No official release date for the console version has been announced as of yet. The console version will allegedly aim to replicate the hardcore PC experience without aim assist. This game doesn't seem to have the volume of interest as the other titles I've mentioned. Not because it's a bad game, but simply because of the lack of console availability, and it's a more intense experience, and it's not anyone's usual jam. It's not a casual game by any stretch of the word. But if there's any PC players out there that are fans of this game, come find me. We're looking for squad mates of various skill levels from beginners to advanced. Right now I'm focused on the PvE side of things. Not too keen on the arena for various reasons. But if there's a crossplay shooter you guys like and would like to see if I play them and would cover them, you know how to let me know. That's right. You could comment on the video. You could find me in Discord. You could friend me in game and squad up and we could talk shop while we kill things. You could find me on X and follow me there and send me a message. I hope this wasn't too boring. Like I said, I didn't want to do a typical season in review video. The idea of it sounded boring to me, but I thought this approach wasn't too terribly bad.
I'm looking at chat. The gas is still landing.
Some of you had time off and played with me, and I know some of you were waiting until the weekend. So if that's the case, I hope I didn't spoil too much. Remember, guys, the most important thing of this entire video, outside of enjoying yourselves while you play the game, is the veteran spotlight. For you new people, if you open up the video description and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a link and a brief snippet of this month's Veteran Support Group Spotlight for the month of February. I do one each month. And no, none of them know I do this, so there's no sponsorship or anything like
What
that.
the fuck? That was
I do this because I want to.
back, and
So check out the
there we
link
go.
if you are so inclined, and see if this month's support group is something you'd be interested in learning more of. Thanks. And thank you all for not only watching, but making it to the end. You are my most favorite hoodrats. Well, that's it, folks. Enjoy your day, and hopefully I will see you on the battlefield. Out.